how you assign your resources. You come down here and then you have this menu that says resource sheet, and you type on that. Now basically what you do here is then you start specifying your resource name. So basically what you do here is you specify your resource name, the type of resource, which is either work, material or course, and basically this will give you if you put it in as material, certain sections won't work, like this will work. Other sections, whenever you type in something, they won't work. When you put in work, certain sections will work, other sections won't work. When you try to type something, it's not going to type. The same counts for cost. It's like, so basically the difference is that cost is a fixed price. This is, for example, whenever you have a contractor, or a subcontractor that you are giving a certain amount. So basically, when you have material or when you have work, what you do is you specify a per hour rate. For example, if you have let's start with, because you basically have three things that you're going to pay in per hour, or that's going to cost per hour rates. One is your permanent employees. The other one is your employees that has a contract, but it's basically paying your employees. You pay them per hour rate. Then you have your equipment that you're going to pay a per hour rate, and then you have your plants, which is your machines, that you're going to pay per hour rate. Now then you have your material. Your material is like concrete, toilet pots, anything that's material related, and usually it's going to have a standard price. What you want to do is when it's work, you want to specify, because you have to say how you pay the people. Are you paying them at the start, prorated, or are you paying them at the end? Whenever it's when it's a person that you're paying, or whenever it is, for example, equipment that they use on your side, you pay your employees at intervals. That's what prorated means. And then material. For material, it's either you have an account at a certain hardware store, you have an account, so basically you pay them at the end, but if you don't have an account, you have to go and pay them at the start. I don't know if you can pay them as the project go on, and then you say, okay, I want to pay it every end of the month, payment on my account. Now you want the tender, you don't have money to buy the material. Now you go to a supplier, and then you ask him, listen, here, we want material, but here's our tender, and what will happen is that we will pay you off at every end of the month whenever we invoice the client. So that can also be the case, but usually, let's say you don't have an account. Now you start at the start, so whenever you go there, you pay. So that's for material, and then the same counts for costs. With cost, it's a fixed amount. So it's either at the end. You don't want to pay your subcontractor at the start. When he starts, you give him the full amount. You pay them usually at the end. So let's say they finish with, if it's electrical subcontractor, they finish installations, then at the end you pay them. So basically that's how you do it. So let's say, for example, your material or your work, now you have equipment that you want to price, because whenever somebody hires equipment, they will pay for it. So we specify it as work. So basically the price can change for equipment to equipment. Like I'm saying 2 Rand, it can be more, it can be less, depending on the price of the equipment. Like you might say, no, I'm charging you 1% of the total price per hour. So for example, if that thing is 10,000 Rand, if the equipment is worth 10,000 Rand, I will charge you, let's say I will charge you 1% of the equipment, which is about 100 Rand. If the equipment per hour, if the equipment is 350 Rand, I might charge you, 1%, I might charge you 350 per hour. So it depends, on the equipment and the value of the equipment. So for example, let's say you have a spray gun. Now this is either to spray paint, so you have a spray gun, or to spray your termite treatment, you know. So let's say you have two spray guns. Let's say 3 of them. Let's say wheelbarrows, all equipment and power tools. Let's say you have hand tools and power tools. Of each one you have 4 of them. That's in your store, but you don't know how many you're going to use on site, but you know that you have 4 of them, you know. Now let's say in a contractor's case, as a contractor, you know you have it. You might not use it on site, but you know it's there. So later on, when you assign it to your gunshot, that's when you say how many. Okay, we're only going to use 2, or we're only going to use 1. Now 100% represent 1 rake, which means that we have 2 rakes now. 100% represent 1 spade, which means that if we say 400%, then we have 4 rakes, 4 spades. So spray gun, let's say you have 4. Now you have your nail remover, and let's say you have 4 of them. Let's say your electrical torque, you have 4 of them. And then let's say because that's a nail remover, now you have your nail gun. Let's say you have 4 of them. Let's say your skilled saw, let's say you have 4 of them. Power tool. Now let's say your circular saw, you have 4 of them. Circular saw, you have 4 of them. So your dumping level, you have 4 of them. Let's say the order light, you have 4 of them. Let's say your concrete vibrator, you have 4 of them. Now I'm just assigning, you know, equipment that you have, you know, might have on your site. Wicker or plate compactor. So you have 4 of them. Jackhammer. So you have 4 of them. Concrete mixer. So you have 4 of them. Okay, so that's about it. So let's say that's what you have for your work. Now let's say you want, you know, your you want to, but these guys, they all when you group them all as equipment. I'm just gonna say equip, but you can say equipment if you want to. I'm just using abbreviations. So you want to come all the way, assign them this equipment. And then for your course, you want to assign this as a let's say for your electrical sub, you want to assign as a sub. And basically, for example, you're going to input electrical or electrician. And then the same for plumber or a pipe fitter, which is also going to be a cost, and this is going to be a sub because you're going to give him one salary, and you usually want to give this at the end. Let's say that's the negotiation, the contract between you and the client. You will be invoicing it at the end of every month. You invoice your client, you say we invoice you every end of the month. So you have a section that you want to do, your subcontractor should finish it. So let's say your subcontractor finish it after 3 months. Now you basically invoice the client every end of the month. So first month, second month, you put away the money for your subcontractors. The third month, you take the third month's payment, you put it with the other 2 months that you saved somewhere, and then basically what you do is you pay your subcontractor off at the end of the 3 months. So that's how you might pay your subcontractors, and that's how you might arrange with your client. So that's for subcontracting. And after that, when you are done with your assigning your resource via contractor, how you will pay them. You will assign resources for how you're going to pay your laborers, your bricklayers, your steel fixers, and your painters. So basically what this thing does is that it's giving your client at the end of the day a work schedule of how much it's going to cost him for certain sections. So basically your client, he has to pay for equipment. If it's your equipment as a contractor, he should pay for it. If it's subcontractors that you hire, you should pay for it. If it's workers that's working for you, guys that's on contract, permanent guys, you should pay them. So the client is the person that's going to see at the end of the day what the project is costing him and who is hired when. So basically, let's say you're done with your subcontractors, you're done with your subcontractors. So what you want to do now is you want to assign your people that's working, semi-skilled people, or people that's on contract, a year contract, maybe 2-year contract. For each subcontractor or for each semi-skilled person, you have 2 labors. So we will hire 6, which is basically for our bricklayers. We will have 1 bricklayer, and for that semi-skilled person, we have to assign 2 labors. And then the same for your steel fixers. Steel fixers, you will have 2 skilled, semi-skilled people, so 2 bricklayers, and then each one will have a labor, a general worker. So you have 2 semi-skilled, which is 2 bricklayers, so each one will have a general worker. You will have 2 steel fixers, and each one will have a general worker, and then you will have a painter maybe, and you will have 2 painters maybe. You will have 2 painters, and then they will each have they will have 2 general workers. So 2 semi-skilled guys, 2 general workers, 2 semi-skilled guys, 2 general workers, 2 semi-skilled guys, 2 general workers. So it adds up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how I came up with the 600%. Now these guys, let's say they are all under contract review. You review the contract every second year or every year. You review the contract every year. So you want to assign them as contract guys. So the same is going to count for your operator. Operators, let's say you also want to put them on a year contract. And then now you basically have your plants, which is your LDVs, which is your LDV trailer, LDV trailers. Then you have your diesel Bowser. Then you have your concrete pump, concrete truck, your vibrated drum roller, TLB, excavator, So let's say you're done with assigning your plants. So now you want to assign some of your material. Or let's first assign your site supervisors, your project manager. So after your project manager, what you want to assign is material. Your toilet port, window frames, material. So now we are just assigning materials, window frames, door frames, bricks. What else are we using? Termite. Termite treatment product, and then we have in-situ concrete, then we also have the G5, G6 material. And then there's a couple of other things that I didn't include, that I also want to include, which is one is the plan, TLB excavator. Inside resource, so one will be the tipper, truck, and then one should also be, okay, I didn't make these ones material, so I should probably change them to material. Let's see if we have everything. I saw that I've missed 2 of them, which is probably gonna need a spirit level. I think that's what you call it. You know, the level to check if everything is level. Whenever you cast something or whenever you put in something float. And then we have different floats also. So basically what you want to do here is you want to assign rates for all of them. So let's say material, we said you will be paying at the end. At the start, let's say you don't have an account. So basically you want to pay at the start. So you don't have an account, let's say you want to pay your material at the start. Okay, so there's one thing that I didn't put in. You know what materials you have to put in? For example, the concrete will come in as per meter cube. This will come in as per liter. The bricks will be coming in as per the same here per unit. Window frame per unit. Toilet pot. The same for the toilet pot per unit. Soil, where did I assign G5 material? To say still you have soil also that you have to assign the imported soil, and they will also go in as per meter cube. G5. We'll put that down as material per meter cube. So that's how you assign your resources, and now you have to put in your rates. So let's say we set for all equipment, if it's probably like a spray gun power tool, probably gonna charge 5 Rand. I'm just making up numbers. Nail gun, but it depends. Like I said, the price, like you charge 1 Rand, 1% of the price of the equipment, or whatever you want to charge it is. But, or let's just make them all for now 2%, but you would basically charge them 1%, or I don't know what percentage you will charge them. Equipment, I'm just making all equipment. 2 rand per hour. You know, like you will know the rates. For your labor, let's say you charge them 25, you charge them 22 rand per hour. Let's say 25 rand per hour. So 25 times 9 hours times 20 days. So you charge them 25 rand per hour. You give them 25 rand per hour. Bricklayer, you give him so you do that. So you charge your operators 50 rand per hour, your painters 35 rand per hour, steel fixers 35 rand, your bricklayers 40 rand. So let's say you charge your laborers 25, your general guys 25, your bricklayers 40 rand, your steel fixers 35 rand, your painters 35 rand, your operators 50 rand. So yeah, now these guys, they are all on contract. And then LDVs, let's say you charge your monthly payment for a vehicle. That's what I would have done. Let's say it's 9,000 rand. And I would have divided it with 20 days, and then I would have divided it with 9 hours per day. So I would have charged you 50 rand per hour for my LDVs. Like, you have your ways of identifying how much something will cost. Let's say this is going to cost you about 10 rand an hour for trailer. Diesel bars, it's the same. It's about 10 rand an hour. Concrete pump, it's around about 30 rand. The concrete truck is about 150 rand per hour. The vibrator drum roller is about 150 rand per hour. TLB is about 150 rand per hour. Excavator is about 150 rand per hour. Might be more. Excavator water stage hydraulic hammer is about 150 rand per hour. Like, you will also find at your area where you are busy working at the area prices, and then you will adjust your prices according to that, and also according to other contractors in your area. So excavator water stage hydraulic hammer is 130. Tipper truck is 150. Site supervisor, say your site supervisor, you give them around about 35k a month. So you divide it with 20 days, 9 hours. So you give them around about 195 rand. So you go 195. Just check it out, 195 times 9 hours times 20 days. So yeah, it's about 195. Your project manager is going to be around 250. Just make sure. Here's 9 times 20. Okay, let's say 50,000 divided by 9 hours. Divided by 20 divided by 9. So you're going to give him 280. So you're going to give him about 208. Yep, you're going to give him about 280 rand. And give your project manager about 280 rand. Then stuff like your material, for example, let's say per pot, the price for one pot is 350 rand, a window frame, I don't know, you will find out when you get to your hardware stores, 200, I'm just making them all, that might be more, 200, a brick, per brick might be 4 rand, this might be 20 rand per liter, your termite treatment, and then your concrete might be, per cube might be, just see something, so it might be 250 rand per cube, and then your soil might be also the same, around about there, just a bit cheaper, let's say 180 rand per cube. But obviously you will know the actual prices because you have to go and find them out from your suppliers, clients, and so on. So basically your material, what you want to do is you want to say under your groups, because you have to group them all, so you want to say SUP, which is supply, abbreviation for supply material, and then for these ones you want to say plant, which is your plants, oops, excavator, tip of the rock, you want to make them more plants, and then these guys you want to put maybe it's permanent. So that's how you assign them. When you're done assigning, after you're done assigning, so now you want to move from your resource sheet where you assign all of them. You want to go back to your Gantt chart, and basically you want to start assigning your resources. So make sure that whenever you, for example, warehouse project, whenever I select warehouse project, before I go to my resource and assign resource, what I want to do is, but even if this tab is open, you see the task, it says task warehouse project. So when you move there and you go to earthworks task, earthworks, so now you're assigning resources to earthworks. So whenever you click on something, it's going to tell you your task, intermediate excavation. So you're assigning resources to intermediate excavation.